"You're mad," Fuzz curled down the blower. "Mad." But 24 hours later, there we were, on that beach once again. The sunburn seeping in, that glorious angry ball of fire in the sky bellowing down on us. Sunburned, fried, frizzled, "You'll brown up," Fuzz correctly prophesied for one of us. Later that evening, he would curse the red-blistered skin that would keep him awake in writhing pain. Pain, those few days away, hoped to be a balm for it. Fuzz offloaded both loudly and candidly about his troubles, about the boat, the business deal, the broad. "That broad," he huffed, "broke my heart." He chanted it like a mantra, choosing not to call her either by her name or the countless questionable pet names he had for her. "Break my heart, brother," he exclaimed with his hands, turning his head for a second glance at the lithe, bikini-clad thing who gave him a smile. He regaled the last 6 months at the beach in Portugal. "Gone!" He almost yelled again, hands pointed to the sky, crying out to a god he didn't believe in, who would no doubt intervene when Fuzz was about to delight in his most delectable of vices. We slowly meandered perpendicular to the shoreline, that pavement we'd hit thousands of times before. The southern sun continued to penetrate our unprotected skin as the happy chatter of holidaying families resonated up and down the coastline. Umbrellas and beach shelters of 1,000 colours dotted the sandy strip of beach, protecting the throngs of happy holiday makers. Dads reefed and yanked trolleys down the soft white sand while their wives wrangled young children, young feet moving gingerly over the hot, yellow surface. "Could have been you," Fuzz pointed at the multitudes of happy families. "If you didn't..." A sideways stare quickly cut him off from continuing his truthful yet slicing comment. That statement, unanswered, lingered in my mind. "Forget about it," I mumbled to myself, a stark contrast to Fuzz's outlandish recollections. Fuzz, sensing a sore spot, continued. "Putz," he responded in kind. "Putz." All those words she said, and all the ones she didn't say before she left. The daggers she shot from her eyes, the feelings without names, just actions, directed towards me at the revelation. The revelation that brought forth those 4 horsemen and the apocalypse of our love. Her demands, few but definite, everything I ended up not being able to give her. "I can change," I tried to lie, not to her but to myself. Changing to change, but these were the only clothes that could fit the husk of a man who could explain everything except for himself. "If only you let me in," she would plead, but he wouldn't even let himself in. Summer at this beach, the families, the sun, it all came back, it all came flooding back. Those promises of love made by 2 kids who knew the feeling of the word but not the meaning. What meant more, the feeling, or the meaning, or the practice of it when there's no more left to give? Was that all this game was? Practicing, failing, hurting each other with 1,000 types of unlove, until finally, hopefully, before we die or kill each other, we get it right. Love, who invented such a torturous thing, so eternally untouchable except in the eyes of the young, and the lyrics of music and the lines of poetry. We tried until we never knew what we were trying for anymore. "Maybe time apart will be good for you," Fuzz interrupted my internal monologue of lines so sad they'd commit me if they ever got a whisper of it. Every gal I loved me more after I left them. His gauge and estimation of love was a horrible yardstick, but a yardstick I was happy to grasp on in the white-water tumble of the rivers of thought in my mind. The time apart, maybe it would be good, but then again good was never my forte. Our walk continued past rock pools and paused by a notch, and as we watched as the gentle waves growled in and shimmered back, the white churn of the water gurgling through each tiny crevasse of the rocks. Like a mistimed yet naturally predictable way, the waves rushed in and gushed out, rushed in and gushed out. Nature's metronome, it follows no rules of man, yet continues to play the music of the earth, and the oceans would continue to breathe its warm, wet breath across the headland. Northward was the direction of our walk, up the easy undulation of the boardwalk. The easy views of the easy beach brought back easy memories. Remember when we, Fuzz started, interrupted by my emerging smile. With those gals from Oklahoma, he continued, then self-correcting, Kansas, they were from Kansas. I found myself smiling, feeding off Fuzz's chuckle. I knew the overly exaggerated story, with mismatched memories of too many similar nights churned in his mind. Sweet girls, I smiled. Sweet and obliging, Fuzz added to my description as he chortled. And you remember that night you had the worst jock rash. He slapped his knee, remember? He relished in the horrid teenage memory. I had to let his recollection continue. All I remember that night, you were over there, you were crying, and she was wildly embarrassed. I was particularly red. And remember, she yells out to her sister, what's the name of that powder for friction rash? With your pants by your ankles and your nuts red raw like cherries. We found ourselves in stitches. That was good powder. I could only roll with the memory. They were good times. Our exhausted laughter began to subside. We sat on the headland, recalling unreliable memories of times gone by, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Before long, pretenses, not that there were any, had dropped. You reckon you guys will get back together? Fuzz asked in a moment of seriousness. I ask myself that 1,000 times a day, I sigh. As I explained, the yells from the past seemed to echo right through my future. Maybe one day. I pursed my lips and stared out to the big blue. Maybe one day.